We have
You.
so many questions, Molly. So many. They have honestly been firing through, and I'm like, where
Good.
do we start? I think I'm going to start with this one, which is a difficult one, and I think it's something that admins really do struggle with. And it's all about how to get to know the person that you are working with and how to read in between the lines of what your boss does prefer and what his etiquette is, and maybe what his body language and all of that. And how, as an assistant, how can you learn what you don't know?
Mm-hmm. So there's lots to unpack in there, right? So first off, with any executive that you're working with, it's going to take time. It's going to take time and patience. And so one of the things that I tell my clients is, especially when they get a new executive or if I come on, is I am not a magic fairy. Nothing I do happens because of magic. It happens because of skill. And that just takes time. And so be patient. And you have to be honest. Both of you have to be honest. If I tell my executives, if I do something you don't like, tell me right away because my job is to make your job easier. My job is to be an extension of you. And I can't do that if you don't tell me what I'm doing right and what I'm doing wrong. And when somebody tells you, I've worked with some gruff individuals, and when they tell you, something that they don't like, or you mess up, like you send somebody to China with no visa, you know, try not to take it quite so personally, right? It is a job. I put a lot of heart into my job, and I do love being a perfectionist, and when it doesn't work out, it hurts my soul, but um, it just takes time, and it's just going to take a lot of communication, especially in the very beginning, of learning, like I said, learning your boss's language. And that's either from asking past people, asking other people, and just talking to your boss. As far as learning what's important, one of the things that I tell new individuals is not only do you have to learn your boss's language, but you have to learn the language of your company. So that means getting on the newsletter list, watching the blogs, follow who your boss follows, follow who comes into your office all the time, follow their company so you can see what their company's doing. Not that, for instance, I've got a client who's in nuclear energy. I don't know anything about nuclear energy. I've been working with him now for 8 years, but I can tell you what a small modular reactor is. I can tell you, things because I've picked them up. And so it just be patient and let it take time.
I love that. And don't be afraid to ask questions, right? It is that question thing. I think that's one of the things that has been brought up recently amongst the
Mhm.
admin population is, oh, I don't feel like I can ask that question because I feel like I should already know, but I don't. So do I ask the question? Ask the question.
Now, I tell you, most executives, they would prefer you to ask the question than continually get it wrong, right? I had, one of my generals, he loves color coding. I went to go work for another person, and I just kind of brought that along with me, and he would just it just irritate him. And finally, I asked, I said, or do you not like this? And he goes, I can't stand looking at all the colors. And I was like, I do not know. I'm like, okay, got it.